let's go to this one. All right. Why Drake? Why Future's new mixtape has Drake terrified? Once again, this is a same video from Fantastic Hip Hop. Let's react to it. Now we know that Drake has took some jabs at a lot of different artists. Future in his push-up songs and Family Matters and all of his disses. He was sneak dissing a lot of people. So it seems like maybe this mixtape might be doing something to Drake. Pause, no Diddy. Well, let's see how Future mixtape might be Drake's kryptonite.
Right now, there are hardly few that are in a more interesting and powerful position than Future at the moment, because as of course in 2024, he teamed up with Metro Boomin to release 2 entire collab albums in We Still Don't Trust You, which have reshaped and resculpted the entire landscape of rap in a way that we have never quite seen before, as these albums put in place the pieces that led to the most important rap beef arguably of all time. Thanks. One of the biggest lessons the rap world has learned this year is that when Future does something, the stakes are so high that he is bound to shake up the rest of the genre. And as in the months following the release of 2 of the most critically acclaimed and commercially successful albums of this entire year, as the target of Future and Metro's pair of albums responded to them in Drake, right after We Still Don't Trust You released with his track Push-Ups, and then only continued to touch on where he is at with Future on Family Matters. After Drake called out Future for not having success without him and for riding off the bandwagon of Metro Boomin, after months of not getting a response, as Future just released his 3rd project this year with his first solo record since 2022 titled Mixtape Pluto, Future now has the chance to answer to all of the claims that have been thrown out against him from his former best friend in the industry turned rival, and now on this record, Future does just this in the coldest way possible.
So this is Future's moment of being Kobe, because y'all remember when they were saying that Kobe couldn't win a championship without Shaq. so this is Future moment to tap into his Mamba mentality and show, man, I can do the same shit without you. R.I.P. to the Mamba.
But before we can understand how he went about this, it's important to see how Future set up this entire record to be his most tactical play against Drake yet, because after a beef that proved to us that despite everything Drake was trying to throw at Future, that out of all of the people he is beefing with, deep down inside Drake is genuinely upset about the fact that Future no longer wants to work with him, this beef is clearly a lot more personal, and now compared to the sneak dissing and lyrical jabs that Drake and a lot of his other enemies have been throwing back and forth with one another after his beef with Kendrick, Future approaches this much differently, and I think this is one of his biggest strengths against Drake, and as an MC in battle, because when the stakes are as high as they are, and because lyrically, Future knows he can do what Kendrick Lamar did, because anything that is a pure lyrical slight will only come second fiddle to that. Understanding this fundamental factor, which is something rappers really need to be aware of in battle as a whole, and then also with the fact that Future knows Drake better than any of the guys against him do. This gives Future a strong competitive advantage against Drake, as he clearly is aware of what agitates and gets under Drake's skin more than most other rappers and people for that matter ever could, and so having his rival's playbook right within his hand, Future acts accordingly and does one of the main things that seems to drive Drake crazy, because as Drake loves to be in the limelight and at the center of attention in any sort of way that can help boost his clout and ego, Future denies him this validation of the spotlight, and through this sends him a clear message that the run they had is over and that he never wants to work with him again, as first off, what Future does first here against Drake doesn't even come on the actual music itself, but instead with the album release date, which is September 20th. If we look at this date and flash back to 9 years ago and see that this was when Future and Drake dropped their collab project What a Time to Be Alive.
That's funny.
This is Future's first message to Drake is by releasing Mixtape Pluto on the same day. He is attempting to overwrite and erase their own history, which while nobody is actually going to forget about this record as it is the definition of iconic, let's be real, the message and sentiment of what Future is doing still holds up regardless, because as it almost seemed like Drake was trying to create a message on his burner IG plot twist that him and Future were good, as he made multiple posts about the time and era in which they created this album in, and just seemed so desperate to try and show people that Future liked him. This seems like Future's way of responding to that and then just disregarding Drake in an even more dismissive way than we saw before, as he is literally rewriting their history together, but now moving beyond this and into the actual musical part of the project, as this mixtape is designed to be a tribute to Atlanta hip-hop icon and Dungeon family leader Rico Wade, who worked with Southern hip-hop staples ranging from Outkast all the way to Future. It's important to note that through the music on this project, Future is channeling a more commanding energy throughout this record, which is what the cover art is trying to depict, as it shows Rico Wade's house, which was known as the Dungeon, with purple beaming throughout it, which of course represents that Future's there. And now as Future is trying to tie together his roots with the one-of-a-kind dominance that he could only possess now, it creates a quite different performance from him than we usually get, just because even for his own standards, Future sounds more menacing than ever here, as the production is just sinister and chaotic throughout this tape, and so are Future's
I haven't heard his mixtape yet. Have y'all heard Future mixtape? I haven't heard it yet. Is it any good? Why is everybody calling me when I'm on live? Man, I hate that shit. Man, I be calling me when I'm on live. Bitch, don't call me now. But I haven't heard his mixtape yet. I'll give it a try.
bars here as he just locks in and raps nonstop on this record. And as Future is addressing so much on this LP, from genuine personal issues and losses to stuff within his usual bag of tricks, through a performance that is much more layered, is way more lyrically sharp, and that gets way more personal. It shouldn't be a surprise that there is one song on this mixtape that is designed from front to back to answer to Drake. And with that, in Future's own meticulously thought out way, and this ends up coming in the form of track 8, Press the Button. And again, following again in this trend of these subtle yet effective moves that are almost designed to leave Drake questioning what the message Future is exactly trying to get across to him is, to try and confuse and throw Drake off guard. He is once again mirroring another sentiment Drake has stood on for almost a year now, which goes back to his track Red Button, which was the intro song of Scary Hours 3, and if we remember correctly, this is the era where Future and Drake's beef really started to emerge, as tensions were rising between them during the release of For All the Dogs, and now beyond this. The name of this song is also a play on the idea Drake kept using during his beef with Kendrick, Future, and everyone else, which was that Drake said he was going to be pushing the button, which of course never really actually came to fruition.
Yeah, the red button. Yeah, he used to always talk about that red button because he said that he had a red button for Kanye West, right? But I think what's his face told him not to his face my mind just went blank. The fuck is his name? Shit. Got a brain for it. What's that old nigga name from Houston? I forgot his name. Jay Prince. Yeah, I just had a brain for it. Jay Prince.
But as Drake kept teasing this over and over again, this could very well be another way of Future trying to silently get into Drake's head. But now on this actual song, what is definitive is that with a dark and commanding atmosphere, and with a flow from Future that's more unhinged, and from vocals that are even colder than usual, with the pressure all the way turned up, and with Future trying to send a clear message to Drake that only he would understand. He raps about stealing somebody's girl, which is of course something we have found out turned Future against Drake in the first place, and has been a source of conflict that has driven each other further and further apart as far back as a track like What Would Pluto Do on For All the Dogs. And then
why? That's fucked up, man. It's like Drake always seems to be talking to somebody's girl, bro. You can't trust that nigga for shit. Damn, man. That's some grimy ass shit right there.
Following this up, to then Future telling this unnamed target on the track that they are not on the same level that he is, and specifically as Future goes as far to call this person a goof, which if we remember was what Kendrick Lamar called Drake on Like That. And then on top of all of this, more sentiment sprinkled in about how this person has different values than Future as he prioritizes things such as girls and partying over actual loyalty for somebody who's supposed to be his brother. All in all, between the tone of this song, all the jabs that seem to mirror the checklist of failures Drake has had this summer, and then also a reference to another Future mixtape in 2016's 56 Nights, which again, to tie things together even more, Future brings this mixtape up to talk about what should be remembered and what should not. Based on all these parallels, this song is the centerpiece of the message Future is trying to directly send Drake's way, as he is reminding him once and for all that this beef they had started happened because of Drake's own wrongdoing and because he did not have the same loyalty to Future as Future had to him. And now as Future folds all of these sentiments into this larger project, which is filled with so much more passion and energy than just what's on these disses, as Future puts together one of his most exciting and entertaining records in a very long time, in this era where Drake can't seem to stop dropping bad music and is looking more directionless with everything he does. The fact that Future has come with a mixtape that is so calculated from how it sounds to who it's dedicated to who Future wants to send disses out to, all in all, it's showing firsthand that despite whatever things Drake wanted to say about Future needing help to get his first #1 song, at the end of the day, Future is the guy who gave Drake the secret recipes he needed to even be able to get the credibility he did within so many spaces in the hip-hop world, and now that we are at this point, where Drake is yet to release just one successful song since the Kendrick Lamar beef, meanwhile Future just dropped a 17-song mixtape filled with nothing but locked-in rapping performances that honor Future's southern hip-hop roots, and an all-time legend in the genre in Rico Wade. When you look at all this and also factor in how Future disses Drake here as well, feels like on one hand with Mixtape Pluto, Future is creating a body of work to three-peat this year, and also showcase once and for all that he is a better hip-hop artist than Drake, who can always deliver a full-length body of work that is nothing but quality, but also, as Future sends so many jabs Drake's way in so many different ways, while it's clear that Future is done with him, with everything else that goes down here, and as this record is literally released on the same day as their collab album did, it really seems like beyond dissing or sending a message, Future released this mixtape on this day to symbolically erase the history between him and Drake forever. So now with all this said, let me know, what do you think about Mixtape?
That's interesting. Pretty much Future is getting in his Kobe bag, R.I.P. As I said earlier, when Shaq left the Lakers, people thought that Kobe wasn't able to win a championship. And, he came back and he won a two-piece. So I respect
Beautiful one!
Wrong button. I respect it. All right.